Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, what is poppin', locking, and what is trapping? Welcome everyone back. Good morning. Let's make us some breakfast. Although before we do that, we have to have our caffeine choice. Now this is Liquid Death. If you guys don't know this brand, they have the severely overpriced sparkling waters and normal waters in a can. So they actually decided to come out with their own energy drink. Sparkling energy, better for you energy drink. This is Tropical Terror. They have some very interesting flavors, I'm not gonna lie. But this one was probably the one that seemed the most appetizing to me. Alright, so this is only 100 milligrams. So it's definitely a lot lower than most energy drinks out there on the market. They said, I guess this is equivalent to like a coffee or something. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. Sounds pretty good. But yeah, again, this is my first time. I forgot how much actually this cost. It's not the receipt. I could actually check in a minute. This tastes exactly like a honeydew. Like, it's got a... Yeah, it tastes like honeydew. Like, it took a chunk of honeydew. That's what that tastes like. Except it also has, like, a very artificial taste to it, too. And it lingers. It, like, stays on your tongue. I don't know about this one. I'm going to drink it because I need the caffeine. What? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one. This one's a bit questionable. Anywho, let's get on the breakfast. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Saying it's severely bruised. Didn't really look like that on the outside. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world. We have our protein-packed oats here, completed and ready to consume. All right, let's go ahead and give this guy a try. Start it running a little bit. It is actually a little bit more liquidy than anticipated, but once you stir it around, I think the oats will start absorbing into the liquid, so it'll start getting thicker. We just don't want it too thin, and we also don't want it too thick, so I think a quarter cup of that milk did us pretty good justice. Oh, I mean, it tastes like oatmeal. There's really not much to it, just tastes like oatmeal. But oatmeal is pretty good for its fiber source, as well as some carbohydrates to get you through the day. With all the protein that's packed in there too, we're looking pretty solid as well. Also, you guys want to check out the macros for this? Here you go. So we got 526 calories for the entire thing, 44 grams of protein, 79 carbs, and 6 grams of fat. Again, the carbs are pretty immaculate in this. 5 grams of fiber, which is really good, 23 grams of sugar, and 211 milligrams of sodium. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now lunchtime. That is right. L to the U to the NCH. Lunch, lunch, lunch. So, what we got for lunch today? Well, lemon peppercorn pre-marinated chicken breast. Next, we got a zucchini for cooking purposes. Nothing else but for cooking purposes. We're going to be cutting this guy in half and we're going to be throwing it into the air fryer. And then finally, we have some rice here. Long grain rich enhanced rice. So, 80 grams of this guy, a whole zucchini, and a whole chicken breast. I mean, there's nothing really else to kind of do for these. I mean, you take the chicken breast, you put it in the air fryer for like 15 minutes. Zucchini, how I usually prepare it, I cut it in half. I'll put a little, like a drizzle of oil, not even a drizzle, like a splash of oil, and then salt, pepper, and garlic on top, and I'll put it in the air fryer for 375 for 15 minutes. Same with the chicken breast. And then 80 grams of rice go in the rice cooker. Pretty much it. So I'll go ahead and get that prepared and I'll show you guys what the final that looks like, plus the macros and calories behind it. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube world, we have officially have the lunch ready here. We have the chicken, the zucchini, the rice, and to top it off, we have the Taste Flavor Co. Cherry Smoked Barbecue. Not sponsored, just personally really like this stuff. And then we have a Sprite Zero Sugar Chill, the cherry lime, zero sugar. So I've been liking. They have the cranberry one, the winter spice cranberry or whatever, and it's really good. But yeah, that's it for the lunch basically. So I'll pull up the macros here in a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube world, here are the macros for this. We have 543 calories with 46 grams of protein, 77 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fat, 6 grams of fiber, 7 grams of sugar, and 692 milligrams of sodium. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, we are back. And guess what we are making? Dinner. That's right. Okay, enough. Now this dinner, I've been thinking about for a little bit. I'm taking basically one of the most unhealthiest things and making it semi-healthy. What do I mean by that? Well, technically it's two of the most unhealthiest things, and they're both Italiano, like my heritage. I'm like 25% Italian, but you have the Italian rule. If you're at least 1% Italian, then you're considered full-on Italian. Italian American. Be taking two Italian dishes and combining them into one. Pizza and Alfredo. So ladies and gentlemen of YouTube world, let me introduce you to a recipe I like to call protein chicken Alfredo pizza. So to get started with this, you want to take a pan. Now I have a pizza pan because I do like making a lot of pizza. My grandma used to have a pizza restaurant. I used to make pizzas with her all the time. But I haven't made any in a while due to my gluten intolerance, as well as pizza being like really unhealthy. So unfortunately, I don't make it as much, but yes, I used to make a bunch of pizzas. Next thing we're gonna need some parchment paper. Take out your parchment paper. I like parchment paper more than aluminum foil because parchment paper, the pizza can actually like come off of this versus aluminum foil, the crust can actually get stuck to it unless you have to put an oil down or whatever. So we don't want that because of that calories. Now a little tip about parchment paper: when you place it down, it's going to curl. So if you just flip it around and place it down like so, you'll be good. And then make sure you don't have as much exposed edges either, because it can get caught on the side of the oven. Next thing you know, you have a super burnt parchment paper smell throughout your house. So the next thing we're going to need is this specific pie crust, or cauliflower pie crust in general. So why this guy? It's got 450 calories for the entire pie crust with 2 grams of fiber and 1 gram of protein. And it's a pretty good carb source. Now, I get it. Cauliflower crust is kind of nasty. I tend to really like cauliflower crust, so it's definitely more of a personal thing. But for this particular recipe, I'd say use this because it's one of the best pie crusts for the size, macros, and calories. I believe Milton also has cauliflower crust pie. I don't know where to find the individual ones, but they're pretty good. So obviously you're gonna have to remove this from the wrapping like so. And you're gonna throw it into your oven, bare naked like this, for 425 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. And I'll explain why once we start making our sauce. So the reason why you want to pre-cook your crust before actually putting the sauce on is because, one, it's a frozen crust, which means if you put the sauce on while it's frozen, it's going to cook the entire thing. Not really cook, but heat up, I should say. And then the top layer where you put the sauce on, it's actually going to get like super soggy. So you want to pre-cook that crust. So then, but while that's being pre-cooked, we can go ahead and actually make our sauce. The sauce is going to take little to no time, but it's pretty idea to get everything kind of pre-made so you can taste it for your liking before you put it on the crust itself. All right, so to make our sauce, or our Alfredo sauce, I have a plate here. And the plate is going to be a little easier than a bowl because how thick the sauce is going to be. 2 main ingredients to our sauce. We're going to need Parmesan cheese, but the base of our sauce is going to be low fat or part skim ricotta cheese. And yes, I'm saying ricotta, not ricotta, because my grandma is Italian, raised by saying ricotta. A 15-ounce container, but we're going to need about half of this. So, which means we have to take the food scale out. So every time you take the food scale out, it's very important to zero it when you put the plate on, just so you don't have to do any additional math. So we're gonna open up our container of ricotta cheese. But I love ricotta cheese. It is fantastico. And then I'm gonna use the back of a spoon and just kind of scrape it onto here. For some reason, it's not going on the 7.5, so we'll do 7. Oh, now since they're 4. Yeah, whatever. Boop. It wants to skip 7.5 for some reason. Now we want to do zero our scale again. And our next ingredient, we're going to need some Parmesan cheese. Yes, this is Kroger brand. I know. But macros wise, this was probably the best. And by the way, for someone who's watching calories, Parmesan cheese has a lot of protein in it. It's 110 calories per quarter cup with 10 grams of protein, which is kind of nuts to think about. So this entire bag is 6 ounces. So bought 2 bags. So we're going to use 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to sprinkle some on there. All right, there we go. 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese. That's pretty much it for the main ingredients. And then I season it with garlic powder, not too much, and some black pepper. Add a tiny bit of salt because the cheese is pretty salty. So I don't add too much, but we may need to add more later on. So the next steps, I got a fork here, right? And you just want to compress the cheese and just kind of start binding it together. At the end, you want something that looks like this. And so you can go ahead and taste it to see if you need some salt. Any kind of seasoning, it's pretty good. I could use a little bit more salt. So we're just gonna add a little bit of salt. We got our sauce ready. We're gonna go ahead and take the pizza out of the oven. And we're just gonna start applying the sauce, our protein, and our broccoli. All right, this guy is looking about done. So we'll go ahead and take her out of the oven. Chef Oliver, I guess you can call the oven Chef Oliver. So that's the consistency you want. You want the top to be crispy and then the bottom to be crispy as well. It's exactly what we're looking for. I really hope that picked up on camera. Make sure to put a towel on your countertop so you don't burn it. And then we'll put our pizza crust over here like so. Now, notice I didn't turn the oven off. There's a reason for that. Because we're gonna have to put her back in. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our sauce. So I got a rubber spatula here. I'm just gonna scrape up, place down like so. Just be careful, your crust will be hot. So just be super cautious. Once you get it on, it looks like this. I have this. It's Oscar Mayer's carving board chicken. This is like super convenient. You got, how many ounces is this? 6 ounces of chicken, essentially. So, but you'll get like big pieces like this. You can just kind of break them off, spread them around. I like to have the pieces as small as possible. Just kind of go around here, spread her around. And finally, we got our broccoli. This is 5.3 ounces of broccoli. And you can do is just take it, peel it off, place it on top, like so. And just like that, our pizza is now ready to go back into the oven. So we're keeping the temperature the same here. And we're just gonna put it back in. And we're gonna let this guy cook for about 10 minutes. You want basically the sauce to melt, the crust to get extra crispy, and the broccoli and the chicken to kind of heat up and roast up and so on too. So once that's done, I'll come back and get it out and we'll try it. All right, she looks about done. You can go ahead and take her out of the oven. And you're gonna be left a little something like this. Nice crisps on the broccoli, which is exactly what we want. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this pizza, man. Oh my goodness gracious, does this thing look delicious or what? A house-made chicken Alfredo protein pizza. So we're gonna let this guy cool down for a bit. I don't know if you guys can see, but this blade is awful. It's so rigid. I try sharpening it, it just does not work, so. But typically what you do, or how I do this, is I just hold it by the edge. And then just, you're gonna have to slam it and right along. And then just kind of right it like that. And hope it comes apart. Look at that. Ah, it did work. Look at that. We can always rebuild the pizza too. All right, so it looks like a disaster. So let me go ahead and clean this guy up and then we'll take our first bite. YouTube world, let's go ahead and take our first bite of this protein pizza. Specifically, protein chicken Alfredo pizza. So this is our slice right here, loaded with chicken and broccoli. As they say in Francais, bon appétit. Oh yeah. That hit the spot. I will admit, there's a lot of chicken on this, but the sauce does come out pretty well. Although I would say, if I were to change anything on this, I would increase the bake time, putting it back in by like 3 more minutes. So when I edit the video, I'll put that ahead. But this thing is great. It tastes really good. The mimic of the Alfredo sauce in there too. It's great. Oh man, I love this stuff. A lot less calories than a normal pizza. And this is about the size of like a small pizza from like Papa John's or whatever. So that's what makes it really good too. Of course, turn your oven off when you're done. let me go over the macros with everyone. All right, so as you guys can see, the whole pizza is 917 calories with 88 grams of protein, 61 grams of carbs, and 36 grams of fat. With 5 grams of fiber, 20 grams of sugar, and 394 milligrams of sodium. But ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, that is it for what I eat and what I cook in a day for the week. So this is gonna be my meal prep because I'm not really prepping it. That's my meals for the week. So, but very nutritious, very scrumptious. So if we take everything and add it up accordingly, we have 2,106 calories for the entire day with 178 grams of protein, 218 grams of carbs, and 61 grams of fat. 16 grams of protein, 50 grams of sugar, and only 1,297 milligrams of sodium. So everything is super low in sodium. This is a pretty high carb heavy meal, so you will get good amount of energy throughout the day. The protein is 178, so it's not as great as I would want it to be, but for the amount of meals, it's perfectly good. And if you want to increase your protein for the day too, a protein shake can always suffice. I do have some Fairlife milk in there too. I can always have a glass of that to really increase the protein to make it around like 180, 190 or something. That's what my protein goal is supposed to be, but for this it says 234 grams. I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this pizza. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this video uploaded so every single one of you ladies and gentlemen can see this. So hopefully these meals can be inspired to your diets when you want to go on your weight loss journey to help you lose weight and to get gain. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, thank you for tuning in. Stay hard and stay focused. See ya.